Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. We'd love to hear from you either by phone or by email. We have a phone number that you can call. There it is. We also have an email address that you can email. There it is. It's keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you either by phone or by email on this edition of Star Talk. Um, I hope everybody enjoyed the parade yesterday. There were a lot of folks in downtown Reidsville for the parade. I don't know exactly how many. I don't know if anybody estimates the crowd or not, but it was a bunch. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Well, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, but the missus has some bad news for my friend who suggested Chucky Chicken in the Philippines.
Okay. All right. Well, let's recap here so everybody will know what we're talking about. It's been suggested that the chicken, we're talking about a chicken restaurant, and the name suggested has been Chucky Chicken.
Yes.
And what's the problem?
The wife, soon-to-be wife, says no
She doesn't accept that. Why?
because she said so.
Well, she
we
must
talked.
must have some reason that she doesn't like Chucky Chicken.
She says that when I retire, we are going to be going to the beach a lot, walking a lot, and spending a lot of time together.
Oh, so what she doesn't even like the idea of having the restaurant. It's not the name, it's the existence of the restaurant that's a problem.
Yes, she's planning on retiring too for what she does.
Well, I was kind of thinking you could open the restaurant and you should sort of do a role switch. You would be like the executive of the company, and then she would be the one who keeps the parking lot clean and stuff like that. But you don't think that would work out?
I would never have a woman clean the parking lot.
Would you don't think that they could do it properly?
Yes, they can, but I'm a gentleman.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's fine. So, but apparently there's not going to be a Chucky Chicken then in any case.
No. To my friend, I pitched it to her. I told her who said it. She says for him to go open it himself.
Well, now, who did say it, but where did it originate?
The one that comes and eats with me sometimes.
Oh, okay, Mr. Pelham.
Yeah, Mr. Pelham suggested that, and I think the old veteran used it on his podcast, but now he's going to have to broadcast some bad news.
All right, so there's not going to be any Chucky Chicken. Well, what about your knowledge? I mean, you've amassed just years and decades of knowledge and expertise in the preparation and the serving and the organization and the execution of fine chicken dining. It's going to be a big void in your life, isn't it, when you no longer do that?
Well, I'm a maintenance man. I put up the truck, I sweep the parking lot sometimes. In other words, when I go on Saturday mornings, I come in, I get food ready to put up in the portable freezer for the girls. I fill up coolers.
Right.
I fill up the ice bins.
Yes.
I fill up the tea.
Right.
Then I get the back room straight. I sweep it. I mop it. I get the half a gallons ready so I can take them up front to the girls to fill up the empty jug.
You're making me tired.
Well, I'm sorry. That's my Saturday run.
All right. But now you could, though. You know how to, you must know, after all this time, you must know how to prepare the chicken. I mean, if you had to go fill in for the people who prepare the chicken, you could do that, couldn't you?
No, I have not been trained on that.
So
sir.
you don't know how to. Well, how would you run a chicken restaurant anyway?
I would have to hire somebody who was experienced.
I see. All right. Well, then, is labor is that sort of labor plentiful in the Philippines? I wonder.
I don't know, sir. I don't know much about Filipinos business or how they run.
Okay.
Same thing as here.
Well, it sounds to me like I don't think we realized how many obstacles there were to getting this Chucky Chicken going in the Philippines. So, yeah, I guess maybe you're right. It's time to rethink the whole idea, and maybe it's not the best idea.
Well, I liked it. I pitched it to her. I told her how much I would love to have it with my name. In other words, well, Chucky, but not Charles. But she just looked at me with a little look, like like a side eye.
So you're going to the beach instead. You're going to sit on the beach all day and enjoy the surf, and I guess you'll walk around like flexing your physique, that sort of thing.
Yeah, probably so. But we'll be hand in hand.
And how about the moped? Is that going to run on sand? Is that okay to drive that thing on sand?
No, I'm not bringing it with me.
Oh, you not?
I'm gonna. I'll send it to one of my godchildren.
Okay, well, that's kind of part of your identity, isn't it?
Well, it was, and can't have everything, Ken. You gotta go with the flow and don't go against it because if you do, you're gonna definitely fight hard.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's a good attitude. So in July, you will be going to the Philippines and leaving the moped and the career in chicken behind.
Oh no, I'm not going. I'm not going to be going until 2027 because I
Oh, I'm
got to get it.
sorry. I'm rushing
Well,
things.
I got to get everything straight. Got to get all my ducks in a row. Got to get all the paperwork filled out.
All right. So I was rushing it by a year. It won't be 26, it'll be 27.
Yes, because I got to get my passport. Got to get my health record. Got to get a police report.
Mhm.
I got to get a visa.
Oh yeah. Well, oh, that's an interesting. What sort of visa do you need? Can you get a permanent Philippines visa?
Well, we want to try for 3 months first. Get to
Three
know each
months.
other.
A 3 month visa to begin with. I think that's wise. I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, but she wants to meet my godson. So if I go back, I'll bring him with me.
All right. Okay. Well, I think you're really approaching this the right way. You're thinking about all the things you need to do and the wisdom of a 3 month trial period. I'm sure it'll work out, but it's good to have a trial period first. I'm all for that.
Well, tell Mr. Pelham I tried. I was hoping to get it done, so if he came down, he would have got a free he would have got a free meal with something to drink with it.
Plus, if we were ever in the Philippines, we probably could have gotten a discount at Chuck E. Chicken. I would hope.
Yeah, you would have got a senior discount.
Okay. Well, you can't beat that. And thanks for the update.
Are you gonna be on Wednesday, sir?
As far as I know, yeah, I'm planning to.
Okay. Well, I will send my greetings out Wednesday then.
Good deal. Thanks a lot.
Bye, sir.
Good night. All right. Well, there's not going to be any Chuck E. Chicken, as it turns out, but that's all right. I think that the probably the current the chicken delivery infrastructure that we have is pretty much sufficient, I believe, to quench our thirst for chicken. I don't guess you get thirsty for chicken, do you? That probably wouldn't fit. But that's the latest on that. We have a phone line open up there at that number that you can call us. Also, the email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com, and there's an email waiting. I know that because I just heard the email noise. Hello, Ken, says the emailer. I was at the parade yesterday. I didn't see any cotton candy. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. I didn't see any cotton candy. You said in that promo that kept running that there would be cotton candy at the parade. It appears to me that you lied. Any comment on that? Uh, well, it does look that way, doesn't it? No, it's not a lie if you think it's the truth. Right? I mean, you got to know it's a lie before it's really a lie. I thought there would be cotton candy. There's been cotton candy, and I believed. Actually believed that there would be cotton candy at the parade, and the fact that there wasn't any was as much a disappointment to me as to anyone. Uh, Maybe next year. Hi, Ken. This is Citizen D. Hello, Citizen D. Citizen D says, and I quote, I am disgusted with Charles. How many times have we heard that? But let's read on. I am disgusted with Charles. The Reidsville Parade was not on the streaming app yesterday, so have not seen the parade. Tell Charles to replay it on the streaming app and all of the other parades as well, or better yet, start a linear streaming option for the Reidsville feed and Martinsville feed, like all the other channels have begun doing. Again, I am sure myself and others without Spectrum cable, like Mr. Pelham, would be willing to pay a couple of bucks a month for that feed. Thanks, and I hope to see the parade on the Star News Plus sometime. Well, Charles Rourke often finds himself the object of disgust from people for various reasons, so that's nothing new. But I'm going to associate myself with Citizen D here and his outrage of the fact that he was not able to see the parade yesterday. And as far as getting it replayed on the streaming app, I think that will happen. I believe that will happen. Of course, I also believed that there would be cotton candy yesterday, so you never know about me. Um, if Martinsville is listening, and if Martinsville can offer us any enlightenment on if and when the parade will be on the streaming, will be streaming, um, Martinsville will let us know. I do believe, though, it will be available on as a stream at some point. And I'm sorry you missed it yesterday. It was a terrific parade. Really was a great parade. Charles also was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and you don't that often see Hawaiian shirts at Christmas parades. I guess you do in Hawaii. But in this part of the country, you don't see it that often. So I'm sorry you didn't get to see it yesterday. I hope that you will soon get to see it in stream form, because I thought it was one of the better parades, overall, one of the better parades that we have had. And I enjoyed it. Even though I don't get paid for being there, I still I, I still enjoy the parade because parades are fun. This will be fun too, I expect. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Can you tell me why Santa Claus didn't have a float in the Reidsville Parade yesterday?
Well,
I believe that's the first time I've ever seen Santa Claus arrive in a car.
well, it was an interesting car, though. I thought it was a very interesting little right-hand drive car. Parade, floats are not that plentiful, and there's a lot of demand for Santa Claus floats this time of year because there's a lot of parades. Now, Santa himself was there, which was the main thing. And Santa's very good at getting around. He probably gets from place to place in a limited amount of time better than anybody. So we did have Santa, and that's what really counts. But you can't always get a float at the time and place you wish you could.
Well, agree with you, it was an interesting car. But some of the children that had waited all that time to see Santa Claus, they expected to see him up on a float, maybe with some reindeer and,
Yeah.
waving to everybody.
Right.
And I thought it was kind of a disappointment that he came in that car.
But it was a good parade, right? Everybody said it was a great parade. How did you enjoy the parade overall?
Well, I don't mean to say I didn't enjoy the parade. The
Hmm.
parade was good. I think everybody enjoyed it. And I'll watch it again on TV once or twice.
Good.
So it was a good parade. I just rather would have seen Santa Claus on his float.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. That is not the only comment that we've heard. It's certainly not the only comment that I've heard regarding the parade yesterday and Santa Claus. But you know what can we say? Santa showed up. He was there. True, he was in a car. and and kind of came along at the end there after the horses had gone by. And we saw headlights approaching from the south, and that was a car that had Santa in it. And there he was. And Santa looked good, looked like he was in good health and all set and ready to go for the season. But yeah, it it was a car. What can we say? Phone line is open. There is the phone number up there that you can call. The email address is there for you too. It's keneckleslive@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you by phone or by email. And this emailer says, Ken, I actually thought the parade was over because all the floats were gone, and then the horses went by, and then it was just kind of dark out there with nothing happening. And then the car showed up with Santa Claus in the passenger seat. It was like he was late for the parade or something. Was he late? What do you know about that? Well, I don't think he was. I don't think he was late. He had been around and, and he was ready to go, and he was in his spot. You know, he's supposed to be the last thing in the parade. uh, the Santa closes the parade, and when Santa goes by, that means the parade is over and the season has officially begun. So no, it's not like he was just out riding around and happened up Scale Street after. It wasn't like that at all. He was there. He was there as part of the parade, intentionally included in the parade as the final attraction. And if you saw him, he stopped and Santa got out and um, had a little conversation with Santa, and then he wished you know a good night, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And then Santa got back in the car and drove away. So it was just, maybe it was not the normal conventional kind of Santa appearance, up on top of a float with his reindeer, or up there in somebody's chimney, as you sometimes see him on a float. Maybe it wasn't that, but it was Santa Claus. Come on, folks. It was Santa Claus, whether he was on a float or in a car. Doesn't make any difference. Santa Claus is Santa Claus. And he was a good guy. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Ken, this is Jerry. I'd just like to say that I got
Well, okay.
and my dad said that he was so smart he was able to operate, get it up running himself.
Well, good.
And time I seen this girl try this hat on, wanted to buy it for. I got scared, and that's why I backed off. And thanks for taking my call, sir.
Well, thank you, Jerry. It's good to hear from you, and I'm glad I'm glad that Andrew is doing well with his smartwatch. As far as the thing in Walmart, that was probably the best thing to do. You know, girls don't always take it well when they are approached by men offering to buy them a hat. So I know it would have been a fine and generous gesture on your part, but you probably did well to rethink that before you went through with it. Phone line is open. There's the number up there that you can call, and there's the email address, KenEcclesLive@gmail.com. You can send us an email or give us a call, whichever works best for you. Here's an email that is not about the Christmas parade. It's about something else entirely. It's about smoking pot. Natural transition. Emailer says, Ken, when are they going to have a retail market in Virginia for marijuana? They passed the law like 3 years ago, I think, to set up a retail market, but they're not doing anything about it. When are they going to do it? Well, a funny thing about that law to establish a retail market in Virginia. I'll tell you that funny thing in just a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken. How are you feeling this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Ken. You know, I sitting here now listening. I'm thinking, well, Ken, I think Ken know there's kids watching the show. And you said that Santa Claus got out of the car. Well, where was Rudolph and the elves and all?
Well, that's kind of what people are wondering about is why was Santa driving a car yesterday? But you know, here's what how I understand it. I've been doing Christmas parades for a very, very long time. Santa does not traditionally bring the reindeer and his actual sleigh with him because they are all so busy at the North Pole getting out for Christmas. It takes them the whole month and more to get ready. So that's why he doesn't bring his reindeer with him to parades. He comes himself, and normally the parade organizer will provide Santa a float to ride on. But yesterday, instead of a float, it was a car. But it was Santa. I mean, it's not like Santa didn't get there. He was there.
Okay, no, that's okay. I appreciate that, Ken. Because you know, I noticed I'm sure there's some little small one wondering that right there. He driving a car like that.
Well, yeah,
and you didn't explain it to him. You didn't explain it to him well. That's good. That right there goes a long way there, because I know the little eyes bugged on that TV right there, wondering why Santa driving a car, but you done told him. So yeah, they visited at the North Pole.
Well, and I would wonder. I would wonder the same thing. I mean, who wouldn't wonder?
You know, Kim, when I was coming up and I was young, I stopped believing in Santa Claus, and you know, my mom them, got Santa Claus to put some smut, his fingerprint on my tricycle. That was the most prettiest tricycle you ever laid your eyes on. Candy apple red metal flake. Mm-hmm. Yes, but that thing was pretty. But I cherished that smut print that Santa Claus put on that handlebar right there.
Well, I'll tell you what happened to me. I was how old would I have been? Maybe 5 years old. Maybe I'm not sure exactly. And I had had developed some doubts about Santa Claus. I had come to believe that what actually happens on Christmas Eve is that I would go to bed, and then my dad would get in the car and go downtown, and the stores would be open all night. He'd go downtown and buy the stuff and then bring it back in the car. And I told him, I said, I know what really happens. You're just going to go get it in the car tonight. And he said, well, here's what I'm going to do. He said, son, here's my car keys. You take my car keys and you take my car keys to bed with you. So if you've got my keys, there's no way in the world I could do what you are talking about. So I put the keys in my hand and I slept with the keys, and I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I still had the car keys. And then I went downstairs and all my stuff was there. So I knew at that point it must have been Santa Claus.
That's a good one right there, kid. I tell you what, that's all right. And you know, Ken, back then when we got our Christmas stuff, you know, and that tricycle like I was telling you about, and that one tricycle, and then we'd get a box, a shoebox, man, with an orange and an apple and what do you call it, raisins?
Yeah.
And, yeah. All that in the box right there. And that was the most wonderful Christmas you ever, man, that's what made us look so forward to Christmas, you know, because kids now, they get toys every. Yeah.
Another thing I remember, this is the earliest Christmas that I can remember. We got up early. My sister's 8 years older than me. My sister was in charge of things like this. So when we went to sleep the night before, she said, "Okay, we're going to get up. We're going to get up really early in the morning." So she woke me up early, and we came downstairs. And somebody said, "What time is it?" It may have been my dad. What time is it? And my sister said, "It's 6 o'clock." And I looked out the window, and it was dark. And I said, "Well, wait a minute, it can't be, it's 6 o'clock. That's just, the sun is just gone. It can't be this dark." And she said, "Oh, you didn't know there's two 6 o'clocks. there's one 6 o'clock late in the day, and there's another 6 o'clock early. This is the early 6 o'clock." And that's when I learned about the 12-hour clock.
12 hours. That was all right, kid. I tell you, you know, those days is gone, and you know what? There was so much enjoyment those days, but I really enjoyed it back then. And kids don't know what they done missed when you know, we used to have it back then. You know, we look forward to Christmas. You know, but
You know,
Ken, you know,
I wish I could look forward to something like that again, exactly the way we did back then.
wow, that would be wonderful. You know, kid, it sure would. I tell you what, yeah, we can look forward to something like that then. I mean, now, but I don't know. We don't never know what the day's gonna bring, you know. But hey, kid, but I'm gonna tell you this right here, and I'm gonna let you go. But look, you know what? I was here in the house. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, and I was here in the house here, and I heard a knock on the door, and there was. Did I tell you this right here? I think I may have. But then the man, I went to the door, and there was this man standing there, and he asked me, did I work on lawnmowers anymore? And I told him, no, I didn't tell you. I had my oxygen thing on right there, and he came in the house here, and I shook his hand, and I did some work for him before. And he was a jolly little man. I almost would put you in mind of Santa Claus in a way, like the way he looked. And anyway, I was sitting there talking with him. He said, "I'm so sorry about your health, where you have went down." I looked at him. I said, "Oh no." I said, "Don't be sorry." I said, "You don't know where God done brought me from." I said, "It's a blessing, and I'm standing here talking with you right now." And you know, he tucked his head and he laughed. I believe he was a minister for real. He laughed, and that time as we was talking, he reached in his back pocket and he pulled out his wallet and he handed me $20. I said, "Oh my goodness." I said, "Oh my." He said, "Now, what church you go to?" I told him the church I belong to. He said, "I tell you what now, you must be a minister." He said, "Make sure that your church teach you about your health, about health. Teach you about health. You know, when you go down and have prayer, whatnot." So yeah. So anyway, and I told him, I said, "Yes, my church, we do that every Sunday. We go down for prayer every Sunday, you know." But he was so happy. But I sent him somewhere where he could get his lawnmower fixed at, and he was so happy. And I was so happy to see him. It was a really good experience to see somebody that remembered me from when I used to run my little shop over across the street. But anyway, Ken, I'm not going to take up much more time, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Thanks.
You have a wonderful evening and have a blessed one. And happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
It's open. The number's up there. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you. The thing about the retail marijuana market in Virginia, that law was never passed a second time. The law setting up the retail market specifically had to be passed by the General Assembly twice. It was only passed once. And then Governor Youngkin was elected, who was not in favor of that. And so 2 more General Assemblies have gone by, maybe 3 General Assemblies have gone by, I think. And the law has never been passed a second time. So that law really is not on the books in Virginia. As we sit here, there is no law to develop a retail market for marijuana in Virginia, and that's why that's never been done. But what comes next? I don't, the time limit, there is some time limit, I think, on when it has to be passed a second time, but the time limit has not passed. Now, if the new Virginia General Assembly passes the law a second time, and if the new Virginia governor signs it, then it'll be on the books. And then at that point, they will begin working on establishing a retail market in Virginia. But until and unless that law passes again, then it is as it is. There is no retail market. But I expect, I don't know, but I expect you will see the law passed that second time probably next year in the General Assembly, and I expect you'll see it signed by the governor. And then they will move ahead with that. Phone line is open at the number up there. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. Hello, Ken. I was one of the ones disappointed yesterday at how Santa Claus arrived. I thought Santa was great. He got out and had a talk with him, and he was waved at some kids, and the kids who saw him really were happy to see him. So all that was good. But I wish he could have arrived in some different way other than in that little car. But putting that behind us, I thought the parade was really good. We had a whole lot of good floats and a whole lot of people having fun. There was no cotton candy, as has been noted previously. Yes, that has been noted. There was no cotton candy, as has been noted previously. But I really enjoyed the parade. Look forward to it next year already, and look forward to seeing Santa on a big, nice float next year, just in case anybody's wondering what I'm looking forward to. Okay, emailer, thank you for that. We appreciate it, and we're happy that you were there and happy that you enjoyed the parade. And don't forget, you can enjoy it many times over on Star News, and just to watch Star News for all the information on that. And I will be passing along any pertinent information for those of you who want to see the parade over the air or on the internet or however you want to see it. I'll find out everything you need to do and every place you need to go in order to see the parade. Ken, what are the chances to get my $2,000 stimulus check before Christmas? None. You have zero chance of getting your $2,000 stimulus check before Christmas. So don't count on that. You have a chance of getting it next year if Congress passes a law. Congress would have to pass a law to authorize that, as it turns out. So there might be a $2,000 stimulus check, and there might not. Congress Congress is not exactly jumping on board with that, and it isn't just Democrats. It's a good many Republicans too are a little bit skeptical about that. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. Look, since everybody else is this grown upset tonight, let me pass mine on.
Okay.
All right, Ken, we got 12 warships, 150,000 military personnel, and all outside of Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, what do you think it costs the taxpayers here to keep up those 12 warships and aircrafts and manpower and all like that out there? Because the president, not that Venezuela done anything to us, but because the president wants a regime change.
Well, I'd say this about that. Those ships, and I'm not, I don't know all the ins and outs of naval operations, but my notion is those ships would be at sea somewhere, even if they weren't currently off the coast of Venezuela. Those ships would be at sea for the most part. And I don't know that it costs any more for them to be at sea there than it would cost for them to be at sea somewhere else.
Well, some of them, they don't cost as much in the dock. Some of them are dock there, but to be space that much, if we got that much excess military, then there's some other places around there where they could be more useful.
Well, that may well be true, and I don't argue against that. I guess just on the point of money, I don't know. Again, I don't know all the details, but ships are at sea most of the time, and so I don't know if it's more expensive to have them there than to have them somewhere else. I don't know. I'll try to look that up.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that. All right, now, next thing, okay, today the judge dismissed 2 more Trump cases.
Right.
The case of the FBI director, Comey, and the prosecutor, Trish James.
Right.
Okay, all right. He brought these cases on feeling, not murder or evidence. And right now, this administration have a 90% success rate in court on these Williams and Fielding court cases. My question is, who does he pay for these lawyers out of his pockets? All these high fees lawyers that he goes to court to represent him and everything in his administration. All right. They paid by the state.
Well, if we're talking,
tax money.
We're talking.
Does he pay personally, or does it come out of his budget?
We're talking about federal prosecutors here. Federal prosecutors get a salary from the federal government. So yeah, the federal prosecutors are paid by the taxpayers.
When they hire prosecutors, like when he go down in a different state, bring in prosecutors and things like that.
Okay, if
the case he had where he lost, and that lady where he owed her for assault or whatever, the $800 million.
Okay, well that was a civil that was a civil case.
Well, who would pay for it?
That was a civil case, and those were not federal lawyers. Those were private lawyers working for Donald Trump. So Donald Trump would have been responsible for paying those lawyers in that case, because
All
he
right.
wasn't president then.
Okay. All right. Even though the case was brought forth after he was president, it happened before, but if it brought forth,
Well, he wasn't president when the trial happened. Now, anything else that happened on that, for example, the verdict, not the decision, but the award, the penalty was overturned. All that would have been handled by Donald Trump's personal lawyers. Federal attorneys wouldn't have been involved in that case.
all right. And now that he's asked the Supreme Court to overthrow the verdict, with his personal lawyers have to bring that case, present the case before the Supreme Court.
If it is a case that involves Donald Trump, private citizen, as this case does, if it's a case against Donald Trump, a private citizen, then Donald Trump's private attorneys would handle it. The federal attorneys would not get involved in a case against Donald Trump as a private citizen. It was a case involving President Donald Trump connected with his activities and duties as president. Then he would be defended by the Department of Justice, and he could also have his personal lawyers involved in it too. But against Donald Trump, private citizen, it would have to be his personal lawyers.
Okay. All right. And last thing there, it was really sad to see the sponsors of 9/11 attack getting the royal treatment at the White House. The president attacked and made fun this reporter, that asked him questions about the death of an American reporter. And that was killed, chopped up, and then put in the suitcases. Mm-hmm. And so for him, to be made fun of, and see, the same thing happened with Nancy Pelosi husband when he was beat in the head with a hammer by some mega person and all that went to the house looking for his wife. But say these things that he say, and another thing was when that cartoon he put out with Hakeem Jeffries and also the cartoon of an aircraft flying over with a crown on his head and dropping crap on the protesters. Yeah, those are not fun, and it sets a bad example for our kids. So I don't think that's fun, and I wish he would stop that and then just stick to his differences that he have with people. And thank you for your time, Ken.
Well, thank you for calling, and just good to hear from you. Enjoyed your call, and our phone line is open. There are the numbers up there that you can call. The email address, if you want to send us an email, that is keneckleslive@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you either way, by phone or by email on this edition of our show. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Tell me what time that parade started yesterday.
4 o'clock.
Well, then tell me why they have to come out there and block traffic at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 hours before the parade starts. They've got to come out there and block traffic down there. I was trying to visit my niece yesterday, and I come up Richardson Drive, tried to come up there through Richardson Drive past Scale Street, and they had it blocked. They wouldn't let me pass through there, and the parade ain't even out there. The parade is downtown.
Well, ma'am, the parade does pass through that intersection.
Well, I certainly couldn't pass through it. They wouldn't let me go through there, and I told them what I thought about it.
I don't doubt that, ma'am.
It don't make no sense for them to have to come out there that long before the parade and block traffic, and people can't get to where they want to go. What if there was an emergency vehicle? What if a fire truck needed to go through there? There's a fire truck. You'll need to go around a different block and go another way to get through a fire.
No, ma'am. I'm sure a fire truck could have gotten through.
What happens? What all these fire trucks are in the parade? What if there's an emergency somewhere in the county and somebody needs to come and put out a fire?
Yes, ma'am.
And the fire truck is up there in Reedsville in the middle of the parade. Then what happens?
Well, I'm sure they have a plan for
Well,
that.
what plan do they have? Explain it to me.
I don't think I can explain it to you,
I
ma'am.
didn't think you could. I think somebody needs to explain it to somebody. It's a dangerous situation, and they ought not to be allowed to do it. And thank you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your call. It's good to hear from you. At least, at least she wasn't upset about Santa Claus in the car. Well, they do have to get out there kind of early and block off the parade route. And they didn't block it. They didn't have the parade route blocked at 2:00. I don't know exactly what the details are there, but I actually drove down Scale Street, the parade route, at about 2:45, actually. So the whole parade route was not blocked at 2:00. The intersection out there at Richardson Drive and Scale Street, I think it is correct. I believe it is correct that if you were coming north on Richardson Drive towards Scale Street, that probably was blocked as the parade was staging, but they didn't have the whole thing blocked. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, Mark from Maridan.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Well, a little sick. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm sorry you're sick.
Yeah, I got a cold and stuff. When's the next parade?
I think the next parade is in Leaksville, and I think it's this Friday night, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, do you know when Madison Maridan parade is going to be?
Gosh, Mark, I don't know when the Madison Maridan parade is going to be. Maybe Martinsville can let me know about that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know somebody was asking something about me meeting Charles will be on Star News at the Madison parade. I've tried that twice. I tried that 2 years in a row.
What happened?
Oh well, last year it was so cold and I couldn't find Charles. I called him. He didn't have his phone. I didn't know where he's at.
Well, now, did you know that Charles tried to call you yesterday from the Reedsville parade?
Yeah, I called him back. I got in touch with him.
Oh, all right, good. Because I know at the time he tried to call you, he wasn't able to get you. But anyway, we'll find out when the Madison Maridan parade is. I don't know now, but if nothing else, I'll find out and I'll tell you tomorrow night when it's going to be. And I know Charles would love to have you show up and help him out.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks again. Thanks again.
Thanks for calling, Mark. Good to hear from you. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was just calling to tell you about the Eden Christmas parade. It's going to be December the 13th this year. They changed it.
Oh, okay, because it's not the Friday after Thanksgiving this time. December 13th. Now, we're talking about the Washington Street parade, right?
Yeah, the Washington Street parade. They changed it to the 13th at 6 o'clock.
All right. Well, ma'am, thank you for letting me know. You going to be there?
Yeah, and tell them that we have more than one fire truck. County's covered.
Yes, ma'am. That's true. Well, we need to point that out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The Washington Street Parade is December the 13th. And I'm going to do that parade on TV. So I'm the last guy you would want to ask when it is. because I got to be there. December 13th is when it is. And yeah, getting back to the other thing, the county fire departments do not leave themselves completely without resources on Christmas parade night. As I say, they have a plan for that, and I'm not directly involved in the planning, so I can't speak to all the ins and outs. But no, they don't. They don't leave the county completely unprotected against fire on parade night, and that's not something that we have to worry about. And as far as the caller, I hope that she can put her mind at ease on that point, because that's not the case. Just a couple of minutes left, actually more than a couple of minutes left, because we have to go all the way to 8 o'clock. We attempt to go all the way to 8 o'clock tonight. You can give us a call. There's the number up there that you can call, and the email address is keneccleslive@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you either by phone or by email in these last few minutes of our program. Ken, you said that Congress has to get involved in the $2,000 rebate. I don't know why Congress would be against that. Giving somebody $2,000 might give them a reason to vote for you. Why would Congress object? Giving somebody $2,000 could maybe give them a reason to consider voting for you. The reason that at least the Republicans, what they're saying, the Republicans in Congress who are not too happy about that, are pointing out that it'll be borrowed money. It's more money that the country will have to borrow. Now, it's been described by the president as a tariff dividend, as a small portion of the tariff money that would be returned to the people. The problem with that is, and this is the information cited by the Republicans in Congress who are opposed to this, is so far the tariffs have brought in $195 billion. And the $2,000 rebate will cost anywhere from $450 billion to $600 billion. So we're talking about as much as triple the amount that the tariffs have brought in so far. And the projection for the tariffs next year, if the tariffs stay in effect next year, the projections are that they will raise maybe $250 to $300 billion. And all that together would not be as much as it will cost the government to give everybody a $2,000 rebate check. So the opponents of it say it's just more money that we'll end up having to borrow. And we're against it, say some of the Republicans. So that's what members of Congress are saying. How that will all work out, of course, I don't know. But I guess the point is, don't start spending the $2,000 yet, because it is certainly not for sure that we're going to get the $2,000. We have quite a few more things that are going to have to be accounted for and satisfied before we can be certain that the $2,000 will be forthcoming. So stay tuned on that one. And we have this. Hello, caller. You are on the air. Go ahead, please.
I've got one more thing I need.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. You can't call twice, ma'am. Just one call per night is what you get.
Why can't I call twice?
Well, the rule is...
Well, who says?
The rule is one call per night is the way we do it.
Well, how come these telemarketers can call me 100 times a day? What if I was to tell them when they call that they call the second time in a day? What if I was to tell them, no, you can't call here but once a day? What do you think they'd do?
I think they'd keep calling you, ma'am.
Well, that's right. That's exactly what they'd do.
All right, but see, they don't play by the rules. We play by the rules here.
Well, it's a stupid rule.
Well, it may well be, ma'am. That could be the case. Nevertheless, it is it is it is the rule that we have. And whatever the other thing is that you want to bring up, please call us back with that tomorrow night, and we will gladly have your call and discuss with you whatever the other issue might be. But we look forward to it. In fact, here's an email that says, "Ken, I want to congratulate you and Charles. Maybe Charles." I want to congratulate you and Charles. Maybe Charles had his best performance yesterday at the Reedsville Christmas Parade when he was out there dancing with the dancers. Now, I do notice that the dancers looked a little bit uneasy, like they thought there might have been a crazy man out there. Like they thought there might have been a crazy man out there among them. But he actually did demonstrate some fairly decent moves, Charles did. And the Hawaiian shirt made it all the more exciting. So, congratulations for Star News and a great Christmas parade, even though, here it comes, even though Santa Claus showed up in a car. All right, emailer, well, thank you for those kind comments. And that is all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. Glad you could join us this evening. We are on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll join us next time. I'm Ken Eccles.